Hey guys, welcome to the Weekend Aquarist. Thank you so much for taking off the time and accepting my invite. Just for our audience, I'll just like to kind of take a few minutes and tell who all are over here. Why are we having this episode? So I was interviewing Adib the other day, about 3 weeks back. Adib had graciously accepted my invite to be the first guest on the Weekend Aquarist podcast. I'm so thankful to him, so grateful for him. And as he was telling us about the School of Aquascaping and the different levels and all, and then he talked about level CJ, and I asked him, so what does CJ stand for? He says, Chalo Japan. And then he told us about this trip and all. So I said, look, Adip, next episode, I'm going to do it with them. I want to know their experience about going to Japan because that's awesome. That's the first time ever. I know Adip since 2012, and that's the first time ever, like, I've heard something like this. And I believe this was the first trip ever to go to Japan,
Yes,
right,
yes,
from India.
it
So
was.
that's
Yeah,
Yes.
that's something that's there. So welcome to the Weekend
yes, yes.
Aquarist, everyone. And let's have a quick round of introduction. I'll start with myself. I didn't start with that, right? So my name is Amar Salvi, and I am the Weekend Aquarist. Why the Weekend Aquarist? Why the name? Because all of us in our hobbies are doing something or the other, and then this is the hobby. And for some of us, then later on, this hobby becomes a vocation by itself. So we are in between that, but most of us find the time for the hobby completely over weekends, and that's what the name is resonating with. So the Weekend Aquarist. The Weekend Aquarist is going to be a digital magazine. It's going to be connected to a podcast, which is going to interview people like you, people who part of the hobby, right? Who form the hobby itself. So with that, let's just start. We'll start with Jen. Jen, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Jayanth. I'm currently studying in PES University in Banshankari, Bangalore. I'm doing my third year of BBA. So, how I have a very interesting story how I got into this hobby. My dad had a small fish shop when I was a small 5-year-old kid. So, I used to sit at his fish shop after my daycare, and I used to wonder why the plants are in a different tank and the fish is in a different tank. Why not integrate them?
Yeah,
So I didn't have the resources as a small kid. I didn't have the resources. There was no internet, especially when I
right.
got into this hobby. So I started off with a small bowl with maybe few 3 or 4 gouramis and few mollies in my own, which I maintained, and then it kept on growing, and finally I got a phone to use, and I had internet at home. So I went and I used to see ADA a lot. So I think I got introduced to ADA in 2015-16.
Okay.
But I was very curious to learn more, but I had no option. I couldn't find still water aquatics at that point. But slowly doing more research, I found out still water aquatics, and I think I connected to them in 2017 or 18.
Okay.
That was the first time I attended NAF in Bangalore. And from then, there's no turning backs. I'm just upgrading my skills again and again.
You've been trolling Adip and Stillwater, huh, since then.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, Colin. What's your background? What about you? What do you do?
Hi, so my name's Colin Fernandez. I'm an accountant by profession. I was in Dubai a year back, so I kind of like had a change of mindset and I came back to India.
Okay. Okay.
Since I came back to India, I was just exploring myself, like finding something different that I want to do because the accounts line was kind of like frustrating for me. So it kind of got into my head. So I kind of like wanted to see something different. So when I was in Bombay, I decided to like search for something online. like how we have these aquascaping. So I said, let me see if I can find a online school that I can do my aquascaping and like brush up my skills better. So when I searched, I found ADA India. That is the site, and that's when I said, "Oh my God, this is in India!" And I never expected ADA to be in India. So that was the first part. Like that's when I spoke to Ratan, and Ratan
Uh-huh.
told me about the NAF last year with along with the ASA school. So he explained both, and he merged it both to me. And at the very moment, I decided like I want to complete all these three levels and the NAF. When I went to the gallery, it was like really amazing seeing all those tanks and all. I immediately registered for all the three. I told
Wow.
Ratan I want to finish all of them. So that's how
Right.
my journey was,
So
like
so
getting to
you
know.
you're pretty recent in the hobby as such.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
not so
What
so
what would you?
advanced as such. But I when I was in Dubai, I kept tanks. When I was here in Goa, when I just saw, like I was still learning to aquascape and a lot of there was this thing on plants also, plant selection, a lot of things that I had to touch up and learn. So I wanted to get more involved into it.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Thanks. Gagan,
Yeah.
what about you?
My name is Gagan. I'm an architect. Since I was a child, I was into this hobby, and the first time I tried plant a tank, it was a huge failure. I didn't know anything, and each and every plant melted. So I gave up hope, and I think last past 2 years ago, I was like free and all, and thought of getting a shrimp tank. So I was searching for plants and all. So I went to the ADA gallery, and then they told me about the level A, level O, and Chalo Japan and all. So instantly I was in it. I finished my level A, and I think ours was the first batch of level
Okay. So
O
yours is
and
the
the
first
first
batch
batch
for
of
level O as
Chalo
well.
Japan. Yeah, this is my story.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Good.
yeah, I think so.
Sairam.
Yeah.
So hi guys. I'm actually an artist and designer by profession. So I studied in Trishti School of Art and Design. It's in Yalanka, next to Bangalore, in Bangalore only, like little bit outskirts. So I've been in this hobby, you could say, from then itself. So from 2012, 13, that was when college started. So I used to travel a lot and visit like a lot of forests, rivers, and like really travel in and around India, like Kerala, Western Ghats, Northeast, and like Himachal, Uttarakhand. So like I was really fascinated with nature and plants and stuff. So I used to first before all this, I used to just bring back lots of plants and from my travels, I used to collect and make these small just like in bottles and glass bottles, just as a memory of my trip. And that's how this whole thing began. And I even did my thesis project in college on the relationship between nature and humans and how we interact with nature and how it like helps us and stuff. So I've really been into this and that's why I decided to like even learn further and take this like forward. So yeah, I also learned to somehow integrate my art into nature and help other fellow people experience this and maybe it could help them also in their journey.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's just take a recap over here. We've got an MBA student. We've got an accountant. We've got an architect. We've got an artist. This is going to be interesting. So let's start. Let's start with why don't you help us understand about these three levels? Let's start with level A. What happens over here, and how many days is it? And then we go on to level O. But let's start with level A. What has been your experience? Anybody can take the.
I think I can start. So I think I was the first batch in level A just after COVID. So level A is pretty much the basics of aquascaping and how you maintain a aquarium, and if you want to compete in IAPLC, how to take pictures and what all you need to follow when taking it, and you also visit the plant farm. So to know how they grow their plants and how TC cups are made and all that. So it's about a 3 day course. So the first day is all the basics about fish, plants, and all that. Second day is more of photography and maintenance session. Third day, Adib himself comes and creates an aquascape, teaches you how to follow the golden ratio, and also has like a chit chat and talks about the business perspective, how you can get into the
Right.
business. So that was my
Right.
experience.
Right. So I'll talk about the farm also, but Colin, what about your experience, level A?
So my experience for level A was really, I was really fascinated to see so many things at once. So like the visit to the farm, seeing India is one of the leading producers of most of the plants out there in aquascaping was really fascinating. And
Right.
especially seeing the plants go out from India was really amazing. Like it's very rare to have such a great thing
Right.
be a part of our country, especially.
Right.
So the group that I had also, I don't know which group it was exactly, but I think we were the third or fourth batch,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a good amount of elderly people as well as youngsters, and it was a good interaction, like having each other's ideas shared among each other and being able to learn with them, have those
Mm.
tests and being able to answer those tests. It was really nice. Like Jayan said, he spoke about most of it. So the experience was really amazing. Like you actually get to learn everything in depth from detail right from the scratch. Like there's no like
Right.
even though you may have that much knowledge or you may be a beginner, although they start the school from the scratch, you get to learn a lot, and it's a good journey from the A level to the O level and Chalo Japan. It's all different things that you learn, and you actually put it into play when you actually start aquascaping. You learn a lot of things.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I want to say.
Good. 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 What about you, Gagan?
I think everybody started from seeing Green Aqua video, and it is just a like starting point. And in level A, you get the in-depth of it, of everything, like with the golden ratio and the plant farm and the scaping and all. Everything will be taught in there. So I think it's a next step that
Wow.
you
Okay.
take in
What about you,
your
Sairam?
journey
What How
towards
was your
aquascaping.
experience?
Yes, pretty much similar.
Sa-
You could say the level A is like the basics, like it teaches you like the basic of everything. Like even when you get into this hobby, there are like so many things, plants, products, like fertilizers, CO2, filtration, like just so many things. So they really break it up for you, and like Adip and people who are well informed in the subject come and give talks and lecture. So, and you can ask them questions. So if you're really like when you're really interested, and they even clear your doubts. So it's really helpful in learning and upgrading your skills for sure, and to take your level work to the next level. And yeah, just generally it was really fascinating. And like next we are just waiting for the outbound program to like go in nature and actually learn.
I was there when I was there in Bangalore, and I was there for the podcast interview recording with Adip. I, happened to be lucky. I didn't know that day they were going to start the next batch, level A, next batch, and this time they had two guests from South Africa also join, and it was
Okay.
amazing to see. I mean, the word is spreading. ADA School of Aquascaping in India is probably the only established school world over, and
Yes, yes.
it's really something. It's another made in India story. That's good.